Hey guys, Drifter here. Welcome to Black Ops 4 In Depth. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing the MOG 12 shotgun, better known as Watch Drifter get a lot of hit markers. I am back. Cedar fever is still kicking my rear end, but we are going with In Depth, and I do hope you enjoy this review much more than I enjoyed using the MOG 12. It is unfortunately not a very consistent weapon, but before we get into that, let's talk about how shotguns work in Black Ops 4. They function much like they did in Black Ops 3. One pellet hits. There's a certain flat, fixed amount of damage that the weapon will do at that range, and then a bonus is applied per pellet that you hit. In this system, headshots don't matter at all. Shooting somebody point blank in the head is just the same as shooting them in the chest, and aiming down sights will tighten your spread. For both the SG-12 and the MOG 12, it tightens them up significantly, almost into a slug. So basically, aiming down sights means all of your pellets are going to hit, and you're going to get that maximum bonus. The base damage of the MOG 12, if you just hit one pellet that just grazes somebody, is going to be 130 up close and 106 at longer ranges. The amount of bonus damage that you get for each pellet that hits is going to be between 8 and 2 depending on your range. While at first it may seem like getting a whole bunch of pellets to hit is not very important, the opposite is actually true. It only takes a couple of pellets to hit to push you over that 150 damage and get the one-shot kill, and this is more true for the MOG than any other shotgun. You want as many pellets to hit as possible. The base one-shot range on this weapon's super short. It's not very impressive, and even when you put choked barrel on there, it's way better in theory, but in practice it's still a bit rough, so don't expect a lot of one-shot kills. At least not a lot of non-aim down sights one-shot kills. Choked barrel doesn't change the base damage. The base damage for getting one pellet hit is still the same, but it doubles the pellet damage and doubles the range on the shotgun, both the base damage range and the pellet range. So you're roughly doubling, if not 2.5 timesing your one-shot kill range with those extra damage pellets, and it does make a very significant, very noticeable difference. This will also tighten up your hipfire spread very significantly, so it overall helps the shotgun in every single conceivable way, or at least every way that matters for a shotgun. I strongly recommend the choked barrel. Dragon's Breath does not deal increased damage to enemies per shot. If I pop somebody with the Dragon's Breath versus a regular one, it will deal the exact same amount of damage at the exact same range. All it does is adds a burn effect that starts burning and draining health over time. The burn effect is kind of slow, so you don't often get a kill with it unless the enemy was already weakened or if they don't heal, because they burn infinitely. It's not a 3-second burn, a 5-second burn, a 10-second burn. They burn until they're dead, or until they hit the heal button. When they hit the heal button, they also put out the flames, and I don't think this is super useful because of the prominence of stim. Stim is more popular than armor or acoustic sensor or just about anything else. Almost everybody has stim, so as soon as you pop somebody with a shotgun, they're likely to pop stim mid-fight and just cancel your whole Dragon's Breath. In Dragon's Breath, I still found myself shooting people twice, or just kind of praying that the guy didn't have stim, or I knocked him down to 5 health and he couldn't react quite fast enough. I don't think that it is a very useful attachment. It's very fun. It's visually appealing. You control with it. It feels very fun when you do burn somebody to death a few seconds later from around the corner, but in my experience, it doesn't truly get me that much more kills. Rate of fire is 62 rounds per minute, which I'm going to classify as being painfully slow on this shotgun. It's just at about the rate where I shoot and I take a whole bunch of damage, and right before I'm going to shoot again, like a frame or two before, I drop dead, and I get really frustrated by that. However, rapid fire is more effective on the MOG 12 than just about any other weapon in the game. It'll boost it 25% up to about 80 rounds per minute, which is much better feeling. At that 80 rounds per minute, you will immediately notice an improvement in your rate of fire, and on top of that, it hits a very nice balanced safe spot with other weapons, in that previously where I was dying just a split second before I could shoot again, now I'm going to have the opportunity to shoot again just a split second before dying, so I can get a lot of two-shot kills and then heal up and move into the next fight. It is much, much better with rapid fire. In my opinion, rapid fire is more important than the choked barrel. The weapon has basically no recoil in between shots because it resets plenty fast. That's not to say it doesn't have recoil. It does kick a little bit, but by the time you're ready to shoot again, it's going to be perfectly settled. Optics are nice on this gun. The red dot sight and the ELO sight make it easier to use, easier to aim, easier to get my shots on point, but speaking of points, I can't spare my creative class points for them. I can't justify running an optical attachment on this shotgun when the iron sights are very serviceable and I need my points for other things. This is a weapon where aiming down sights is almost always preferable to hipfire. Only hipfire if you're running short on time, because because when you ADS and get a hit, that means that all pellets are going to hit, and you're going to have a much higher likelihood of getting a one-shot kill versus a hipfire, and this is true even with choke barrel. Aim down sight's time's kind of slow at 225 milliseconds. You can improve it a good bit if you run quick draw at 150 milliseconds, but I don't find this to be the overall most useful attachment. I've got a very specific set of attachments that I use to optimize like DPS on this weapon, and unfortunately quick draw doesn't give me enough edge to justify using it. Reload times are all over the board here today. The reload time is 3.65 seconds if you're just putting in one shell at a time. If you have the base fast mags on, you'll be able to reload 2 shells at a time. Your guy just like double knuckle grabs them and sticks them in really fast. That's 2.2 seconds. And if you run fast mags 2, which is called the speed loader, you'll reload all 4 rounds in one smooth movement at 1.73 seconds. This being said, I don't think fast mags 2 is as good of an attachment as fast mags 1, because with fast mags 2, if I only need to reload 1 shell, it takes just as long as reloading all 4. Whereas with regular fast mags, if I only need to reload 2, I can just pop in 2 and be on my way and good to go. It can be much faster. And as far as like speed and economy, point economy, which is what we've been talking about a lot lately, fast mags is just the way to go. Regular fast mags is very helpful. Fast mags 2 is a little bit overkill. It's nice, but it's not necessary. Overall, unfortunately, I do not recommend the MOG 12. Just period. It's not a very reliable weapon. It's not a good shotgun. It's not a weapon that anybody speaks highly of and that very few people have fun playing with. There are just other weapons that you could be running that are downright better. But if you are going to use it and go for challenges or trolling or just for a change of pace, my best possible MOG 12 class is you want to run long barrel and choke barrel, regular fast mags 1, rapid fire, and gung ho. This is going to increase your range, it's going to let you shoot faster, it's going to let you reload faster, and you can react right out of sprinting to aim down sights firing with gung ho super fast. It's sort of a maximum time to kill optimizing class. While the MOG 12 may not be very good at multiplayer, it's surprisingly nasty in Blackout. This thing can just shred people in Blackout. It can actually one-shot kill people if you hit them in the head. It's one of the very few weapons in Blackout that can take down a 150 health user in one shot to the head. Now if you hit them in the armor, obviously that isn't going to work, but even armor shots deal a pretty shocking amount of damage. And the MOG 12 may not be the best weapon ever in Blackout, but it can be a very powerful secondary in the right situation. There's a lot of times where people rush you where they're completely unprepared to take 100 damage in one shot, especially if you've got like a door you can slide in and out and pop and hide, or a little ridge, or just something that you can work with to give yourself cover. This weapon can world star people. They're just so completely unprepared to deal with the MOG 12's amount of damage, and it really is the best secondary weapon. I will also admit that the MOG 12 works much better on PC Blackout than it does on console. Due to the nature of how people aim, they can whip around with the mouse like super fast and swipe and snipe and shoot really accurately. I can do it better on PC than on console, but there are people on PC that make me look like an infant trying to aim, and they will really take you to a whole world of hurt with the MOG 12. Matter of fact, the MOG 12 is basically a meta weapon on PC. People love using that thing, so I would tell you to give it a try if you haven't done that yet. Guys, that is all for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.